What I saw with Montessori's observations of children with mental and emotional problems was in the beginning of that report, it showed that the work she had done with those children with the genetic or historical limitations, she was able to turn around and get to the same success level as the normal or average student. After her observation of that, she realized that if she could bring those children to this level, then normal children, so-called normal, should be way beyond that. And she saw that as somewhat of a mission statement. With her mythology, the limitation comes basically the only way I see it is for the teachers. There isn't any in the moment teaching. Every bit of teaching that can be credited to the teacher is way before the class even gets into the classroom. Your classroom setup is important in any philosophy and mythology, but with Montessori, it's foundation. If it's not set up right, if you don't have the right materials, there is no, winging it. There is no, oh, we don't have it, let's do something else. It's not how it works. It's very structured. Um, I would imagine that someone, some people say, oh, I have OCD because I like organized, I like clean, I like structured. That would be a good classroom for them to be in because it's based on that. The benefits, however, there's autonomy that runs rampant in those classrooms. You walk in, and I personally have, and you see 2 and 3-year-olds minding their own business, working independently, doing their own lessons, if you will, without even really being told what that lesson is. They will find the teacher, or the teacher will walk by, and those children are so excited to tell that teacher what they just learned or discovered. And you wouldn't have known that they could even do that. I have seen crazy things. I've seen 3-year-olds dividing because they wanted to. They wanted to see what would happen with like a pie puzzle. It was incredible. Um, it also builds their self-confidence. When they are built up to have so many successes, they automatically gain that confidence, which only increases their potential and success for later. They're also taught the self-control importance and social expectation very soon and very quick, because without having self-control and without doing what is socially acceptable in the climate of your classroom, this will not work. The mythology does not work if the child cannot grasp that concept. Um, what did Montessori learn while observing children using the sensory materials? I think it was kind of an unintentional discovery when she created her sensory materials and watched the children using them. She saw that not only, let's say, with thick cylinders versus thin cylinders, or tall versus short, that they were categorizing them or sorting them without even being directed to, and that after being at a center like that or having that introduced into their day, they would do that in other areas. Maybe just even cleaning up. Maybe they cleaned up all the big things first and then the little things. It just introduced a structure and a category and a sorting to their daily life. And Montessori is very big into daily skills, life skills. They don't just do math by using blocks. They do math in the kitchen cooking, fractions. They do it with recipes, so you know how to cook too. It's incredible. Um, how did this observation change Montessori's reading lessons? With the reading, it was almost as if they accidentally start reading. They learn phonics first. Phonics obviously starting out with your letters and the sounds they make, but then you work from that into your blends, and then your blends into sight words. Cat. Every kid, once you teach them C and A, and then you show a picture, they know that T comes next. They work with that very well. And then before you know it, they're reading, cat ran through the door, and it just almost accidentally happens. But phonics is their foundation. They don't teach necessarily sight words as like memorizing words. They memorize blends, they memorize the sounds, and that's how they go. And I have seen a lot of these techniques, maybe not all-encompassing, because honestly it takes a lot of effort, a lot of time, and a lot of patience to be able to do this kind of classroom setup in philosophy. The Learning Center here in New Jersey is one of the top-notch schools here, school/daycare, but they don't like to be called a daycare, because they do follow somewhat of a Montessori foundation where Phonics, we have 3-year-olds in my class now that are working on phonics. 90% of their pre-K students read before they enter kindergarten, and they do that with the phonics process. We don't do necessarily free choice when they walk in the door, but we do open up centers, and they get to choose between 2 or 3. That helps them with self-control as well, because every time you don't open up, let's say, the computer station, they want to go there, but they have to choose between 2 other centers. They have to make those decisions. We don't make them for them. So there are bits and pieces. I think the beneficial stuff is taken out and used in a lot more environments than we know.